Hi guys, thank you for tuning in again. So this is part 2 of the BTS sort of spiders that were purchased, and these are the ones that came in the mystery box. This is a Nhandu chromatus from Spa Spiders. It's probably sort of juvie, sort of grown on sling size. Lovely looking spider, really healthy. It does look really nice, and you'll see it shortly. But the setup is pretty basic. A little hide, and what I do is I will put in just a bit of bark or something, just enough, and then create the hole for it to start burrowing and things like that. Water dish going in as well, and then we'll add the spider. Now, just because on the size of the pot, it just needed a little bit more room. Obviously, being terrestrial, it's going to need that little bit more floor space. But yeah, it's another great one to the collection. I have got a few of these of varying different sizes, so from sling to kind of an adult female. So it's a spider I've kept before, and I do like them. They can be skittish. They can be, quite, sort of defensive in a way that they keep their urticating hairs, being a new world. But generally, their sort of demeanour's all right. So we're just getting this one in. Just as you can see, it's a fairly decent sized little sort of grown on sling. So it just needed, I think it deserved a little bit more space. Straight into the burrow, and then and that's it really. Pretty easy, pretty decent, and no stress to the spider. I do put a fair bit of substrate in because they do like to burrow when they're this sort of size. So it's got enough to do that if it wants to. But that's it. On with the next one. Okay guys, so the next one is the Pterinopelma sazimai. This is also known as the Brazilian blue tarantula or the iridescent blue tarantula. Absolutely stunning adults. When they do grow, they become very, like, sort of, as it says, iridescent blue in colour. This is another sort of similar size to the one we've just rehoused. I come from the eastern part of Brazil, and it's got a pretty different sort of environment than potentially what we're used to keeping tarantulas in, as it gets quite cool in the winter there. So they sort of burrow to escape heat, and then they'll come out to find prey, but they'll burrow to sort of find humidity. So this is just a short-term house or enclosure for it at the moment. Standard mix again, water bowl, hide, nothing dramatic in here, just a simple basic setup. It's got enough, like I said, enough substrate in there if it does want to burrow. It's not huge. And then it's like I'm just looking forward to growing this one on. I've never ever had one of these in the collection before, and to just look at them, they are stunning. The carapace goes sort of this blue colour along with the legs, and they have this sort of reddish brown abdomen. They are absolutely beautiful, but Same sort of as the Nhandu we just done. They can be skittish, but yeah, absolutely stunning. I mean, if you look at pictures of adults, they are gorgeous, gorgeous spiders. But they do get defensive, like majority of the New Worlds, and have urticating setae. So just be careful, because if they kick hairs, then and you're quite susceptible to setae, then it could cause you a few little problems. But real classic, beautifully looking tarantula, and an absolute bargain to get in a mystery box. And this was the one from Portsmouth Tarantulas that we unboxed earlier. So the price on it was 25 quid for a small spider that size. So looking forward now to sort of growing it on and watching those colours develop. So we shall see. And on to the next one, though. This is the Cyriocosmus elegans, the Trinidad Dwarf. Very striking looking tarantula, distinguishable by the heart shape it has on its abdomen. Adults have like an orange and black carapace with grey brownish legs that sort of fade into black, and the abdomen has this kind of striping with this heart shape on the back of it. Absolutely gorgeous looking spiders. They don't grow very big. I think the reality is to about sort of 2, maybe 2.5 inches. They grow very, very quickly. They're not long lived either, so you're looking at about 7 years for a female and just 2 years for a male. But relatively easy to keep. They do have urticating hairs, being a New World, so obviously just be aware of that. Pretty standard in regards to heating, and they like high humidity, so it's important to keep them high in humidity, because they do actually live in where they live in Trinidad. The humidity is well up there, sort of at about 85%, so it's important to keep the humidity high. So all I've done with this one is just cut off the bottom of a one of the little vials that you get with slings in like mystery boxes and stuff, and just put that in there just to keep the humidity up. Small bit of cork bark, and I've pushed the paintbrush in so that it just creates a starter hole for it realistically. But you can see it's a small tarantula, and it decides that it doesn't want to go in, and it's more than happy to go for a little wander around my hand, and then wander off. So just looking for it. There it is. Could have got a bigger catch cup there, Si. Obviously, humongous thing. I don't sort of I don't like to sort of pick them up and stuff. I prefer to let them walk into somewhere and then just use a paintbrush. For me, it's safer for everybody. Not that I'm thinking this thing's going to bite me, but it's just that I'm quite a big bloke, and the last thing I'd want to do is sort of crush something like this. So you can see I was quite delicate for my size there. But yeah, absolutely chuffed with this. Brilliant addition to the collection. And let's get to the next one. The Theraphosa apophysis. One of my favourite slings in the whole wide world ever. Apart from avicularius. I don't know. There's just something about avicularius slings. But for those who know, they know. Anyway, this is the Pinkfoot Goliath, the Goliath bird eater. the Goliath tarantula, the Venezuelan bird eater. I mean, they're called various different names throughout the hobby. Most common name is the Pinkfoot Goliath, and that's because, well, they have pink feet, but not in the sort of pinkness that we would see in the Avicularia species, and I've mentioned them twice now. You can obviously see I've got some kind of love going on, but I do. Anyway, I absolutely love these slings. They are so pretty, very fluffy, very leggy. They're sort of long-legged, really pretty slings. Standard enclosure really that's going in at the moment. It's just a hide, water dish, and the bark I'm using there is just a little bit of birch bark. Please recycle me. Yeah, that's what we do. It's all about the recycling. So water dish will go in, and that is, if the spider wants to take a drink, it can take a drink, but primarily it is for humidity. We need to be looking at about 75 to 80% here with this species. So that's what we need to do. Fairly decent depth in substrate at this size. I'd say probably in these tubs there's probably about 2 inches of substrate there, and for the size of the sling, that's more than enough at the moment. It isn't going to be in here forever. It is literally, this is it growing on. But you can see the sling there, and the way they walk, I just find this species, and specifically the Pinkfoot Goliath, just absolutely fascinating. I love the way they walk, the way that they are feisty. They've got a lot of attitude, and I think that's amazing. I love to see that in any of the small slings. But just the way, look at the way they just feel about and walk about. It's sort of, everything is calculated. It's like they're on a minefield. And I just love them. I think they're brilliant. This is the third one to the team. And this is probably a little bit smaller than the other two. But a welcome addition. It really is. And as always, we're going to recycle that sticker. The same as we recycled that body. Not that body, that bottle top. Just a little bit of husbandry. Keep the substrate moist. It shouldn't be wet, but it should be moist, and just keep the humidity high and just help that spider grow. And next one coming up. The Hierodula majuscula, which is the giant rainforest mantis. This is the fourth of the mantis that we've had to the team. These get quite big. They grow up to about 10 centimetres as adults. Live for approximately a year. And all of my mantis live off red runner roaches. I literally feed them direct off the tongs. They absolutely love it, and it is a really, really fascinating way of feeding them. So yeah, when you got mantis growing to this size, they are big. This one at the moment has got like a sort of brown hue to it, which is not uncommon. But they get to like a green colour as they grow. And these are found in the tropical regions of northern Australia, which I think is fascinating to think that I've got one of them sat in the team. They need to be in a humid environment and within sort of 24 to 28 degrees C and probably about 70 to 80 degree humidity. But they are stunning, absolutely stunning mantis. Really, really fun to watch and everything. what's going on is a basic enclosure, so I've got some substrate in the bottom. There is a little decor plant, just something else for it to sort of climb onto and climb off, and then there's a branch so it can dangle and literally molt if it needs to. So with Mantis, they need to anchor themselves and then they slide out of their molt, so they need to have enough room to do that. They need to be twice the length of the Mantis so they can drop down. Spraying up the enclosure, and then we're going to add the Mantis in. My Mantis love has grown now. I do handle them now, and if any of you watched any of the lives and things like that, you'll see that my my Mantis days and things are a lot better than they were at the very start, and I have got better. So that's through Sophie, who has encouraged me, and also Mitch, where I got my first Mantis from. What I will say, if you're going to get one, they're so fascinating. I am slowly but surely falling more and more in love with Mantis, and I find them fascinating. That's the end of the rehousing though, guys. That's the end of all the purchases. You will see shortly, after you've seen that little thing, that I put on the pokey pot with a view to rehousing that. But what I did decide is I built an Exoterra not long after to rehouse it in, and actually did that by just opening the enclosure so it could climb out, and it did at its own pace, no stress, no problem, and then I just removed the pot. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching again. Hope you enjoyed it, and remember, stay inverted, keep it crawly, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.